Hello students, in today's video we are going to discuss your chapter 5 acids, bases and salts. So in your previous year classes you have learned that if a substance is made up of only one atom, then we can call it as an element, and if a substance is made up of more than one atoms, then we call it a compound. For example, O, this is a oxygen element. Since it is consist of only one atom, it is an we call it as oxygen element or oxygen atom. But the oxygen gas that we inhale is a compound because it is made up of two oxygen atoms. Okay, oxygen gas is a compound made up of two oxygen atoms, and generally oxygen, it is an atom made up of only one atom. Okay, now let's learn about acids. What are acids? So acids are compounds in which one of the elements that makes up the acid molecule is always the hydrogen element. মানে কি কৈছে, acid is a compound means what? Acid have more than one atoms. Now in acid, one atom, one molecule is always present, which is hydrogen. So whenever a acid is formed, the hydrogen must be there, otherwise it will not be a acid. For example, when hydrogen and chlorine mixes, it becomes hydrochloric acid. Okay, so acids are compounds that must have hydrogen. Okay, so properties of acids are, first one is acids taste sour. Acid bur tenga hoy. Then acids dissolve in water. Then acids are corrosive. Then acids can be strong and weak. So we have got four properties: acids taste sour, acids dissolve in water, then acids are corrosive, and acids can be strong or weak. Now there are different type of acids: acetic acid, malic acid, citric acid, carbonic acid, lactic acid, tartaric acid, and many more. Okay, now let's learn about strong acid and weak acid. So in your book there are given hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, phosphoric acid are strong acids, whereas citric acid, lactic acid, acetic acid, tannic acid, carbonic acid are weak acids. Okay, now uses of acids. For that, go to this page, refer to this page, and there is a list. This is also important for your examination. This table is important. Read this table and you will understand what acid is used for what purpose. Okay, now let's go to bases. Now bases have soapy feel. They are soapy and bitter. Bases have soapy feel and bitter, মানে সাবুনৰ নিচিনা বস্তুটো, and they are bitter, তিতা হয়. Now bases are compounds which contain oxygen. Bases are compounds which may contain only oxygen, and or they may contain oxygen plus hydrogen. In case of acids, they contain only hydrogen, but in case of oxygen, they may contain only oxygen or oxygen plus hydrogen. So when a base contains oxygen, we call it oxide, When a base contains oxygen plus hydrogen, we call it hydroxide. We call it hydroxide, oxide and hydroxide. Then property of bases. Property of bases. So when bases, first one is when bases react with acid, they form salt and water. And when acid and base reacts, they cancel out each other properties. Acid is sour, base is bitter, but if you mix them, the both of the taste will go away, means both of their properties will go away, they cancel each other. And when acid and base mixes, they produce salt and water. And some bases dissolve in water. The second property is some bases dissolve in water. Now a base that dissolves in water is called as alkali. When a base dissolves in water, we call it as alkali. The washing sodas that you see at your home is alkali. Sabun je hetu eta alkali re bonwa thake. So alkalis when dissolved in water feel slippery on the skins. But remember, all bases are not soluble in water. All acids dissolve in water. All acids dissolve in water, but not all bases dissolve in water. Only some of the bases dissolve in water. This is the difference between acid and base. Then some bases are corrosive. Third property is some bases are corrosive. And similar to acids, there are strong bases and weak bases. If a base is strong, it will be more corrosive. Then salt, another substance is salt. So when acid and base react, salt is formed. One main example of salt is sodium chloride, which is the table salt you use at home. Boga boga jitu salt ami khadyot byabohar koru, the salt that we use at home is sodium chloride. Okay, and this is also called as table salt. Sodium chloride is commonly called as table salt. Now if anyone wants to know if a given substance is acid or base, suppose you have a substance, you have a glass of liquid. Now you want to identify if it is acid or base. So for that we use indicators to identify it. If it is a base or acid, we use indicators. Now what is the indicators? Indicators are substances which change color when placed in acidic or basic conditions. For example, there is a natural indicator, bryophyllum. So if you mix it with acid, it will turn pink, acid, and if you mix it with base, it will turn yellow. So if you have a liquid, just add bryophyllum, and if the liquid turns pink, then you will know that the liquid was acidic, and if it turns yellow, you will know that the liquid was yellow. Okay, there are other natural indicators like turmeric powder and red cabbage extract are natural indicators. Now there are some laboratory made indicators. Now litmus is also another natural indicator. It is obtained from the lichens. We have learned about lichens previously. Litmus is obtained from lichens. Now from litmus a paper is made, and it is called as litmus paper. Okay, from litmus paper is made. Now litmus paper has two forms, red and blue. Okay, now acid turns blue litmus into red and base turns red litmus into blue. Now how that works, take a liquid, unknown liquid. Now you want to identify if it is acid or base. So take a, suppose you have blue litmus, you have blue litmus paper. Now take a blue litmus paper and drop it in the water, in the liquid. Now if the blue litmus paper turns into red, you will know that the liquid is acid. But if the blue litmus paper stays blue and do not change its color, then you will know that it is base. This is because blue litmus paper already has acid. Blue litmus paper already has acid in it. So if you, sorry, blue litmus already has base. Okay, blue litmus already has base. So if you drop it in base, it will not change in color, because base plus base do not happens, nothing happens. But if the blue litmus paper is dropped into acid, then acid and base will react and change the color. Similarly, the red litmus paper already has acid in it, so when it comes in contact with base, it changes into blue. When it comes in contact with acid, it stays red because it already has acid. Okay, there are some other indicators like methyl orange and phenolphthalein, etc. Then next we are going to learn acids and bases in our everyday life. The first effect is tooth decay. Now you eat different type of foods, but many of those foods contain sugar. Okay, now there are bacteria present in our mouth. Everybody's mouth is present by bacteria. Now those bacteria feed on those sugar and produce weak acids. The bacteria in our mouth feeds on those sugar and produces some weak acids, and these weak acids damages our tooth and decays it. So it is necessary to keep our teeth clean. Okay, if somebody does not clean their teeth properly, then the weak acids will decay their teeth. Now there is a scale to determine the strength of an acid or base. So it is called as pH scale, power of hydrogen. Full form is power of hydrogen or potential of hydrogen. Now the middle point is 7. Okay, the 7 point, if a liquid has pH scale 7, then it will be water, pure water. Normal water is, pure water is 7 in pH scale. Now if you go left side, means if the value decreases from 7, then it will be acidic. If the value increases, then it will be base. So if a substance has pH 14, then we will know that it is a base, and pH 14 is strongly basic. If a substance has pH 5, then we will know that it is acid because it is below 7, and pH 1 is called very strongly acidic. pH 7 you can call it as neutral. Okay, the next topic is acid rain. I think many of you have heard about acid rain. Now what is acid rain? The normal rainwater, the rain, when it rains acid, it is called acid rain. Now how the rain becomes acidic? Okay, our air contains carbon dioxide. Our air contains carbon dioxide. Now when the carbon dioxide mixes with the rainwater, it produces carbonic acid. It is a weak acid. When the carbon dioxide of our air mixes with rainwater, it produces carbonic acid. Similarly, there are many pollutants in the air of nitrogen, sulfur, etc. And when also they react with the atmospheric oxygen and the rainwater, they also form acids, and those acids come down along with the rain. And when the acids fall on structures, historical monuments, they damage the structure due to their acidic power. Okay, so this is how acid rain happens. The next point is neutralization. What is a neutralization reaction is when acid and base reacts. When acid and base reacts, they cancel each other's properties, means they neutralizes each other, and this is called neutralization reaction. When acid and base reacts, we call it a neutralization reaction. Now let's learn about uses of neutralization reactions. So the first use of neutralization reaction we are going to learn is indigestion. We know that our stomach contains hydrochloric acid. Our stomach contains hydrochloric acid for the digestion of food. If the amount of hydrochloric acid somehow increases in the stomach, then the person will have indigestion. Now, if the person eats a tablet that contains base, then this acid plus base will neutral each other, and the person will be cured from the stomach pain. And this is why the indigestion tablets are taken. Then insect bites. Some insects, when they bite, it is painful. A bee or a wasp, if it bites you, it is painful, because these in their bites, it contains an acid which is formic acid. Insect stings contain formic acid, so it is painful. So how to cure it? Just apply a medicine which contains base, and then the base will kill the effect of the formic acid, and the pain will go. Bee and wasp stings contain formic acid, so they should be treated with ammonia solution or calamine solution, which contains zinc carbonate, which is a base. Then again, toothpaste. How to protect teeth? Toothpaste. Now we have learned that tooth decays because of the bacteria, and they produces weak acids. Now the toothpaste that we use, they contains bases. The toothpaste contains bases. So when you brush your teeth with toothpaste, the bases go inside your teeth and kills the acid, neutralizes the acid, and this is why toothpaste are used for the protection of teeth. Then the last one is soil treatment. So when some farmers use a land to grow their crops, some lands may be acidic. So if the land is acidic, just spray base medicine to the soil, and the soil will become neutral. Or if a soil is basic, then it should be treated with organic manure, because organic manure releases acids which neutralizes the basic nature of the soil. So this is the chapter acids and bases for you. Now the question answers will be given tonight in the website, okay? And this will be the last video before your exam. I hope you understand, and all the best for your examination.